Okay, so we're out 12 hours now. Whose vote were you most surprised by or hurt by?
Man, it has to be Rubina. I mean, I felt like we had connected with each other. We had communicated that we were playing for something that was a lot bigger than this game. Our ethnicity, our heritage, that I genuinely never would have put up Rubina or voted for her. Even if it was the way of the house, I would have showed my cards and said, I cannot do that to somebody else that's Filipino. But nonetheless, she decided to go with the vote of the house. And that was hurtful, but it's a game, and I loved Rubina. I hope to be friends with her after this, but I could have never done it.
Hmm. Talking about Angela, which obviously is a big topic. She, called you out. She said you threatened her. You had talked to her before the nominations, and I guess that conversation didn't go great. Anything you would have changed about that?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, to look back and kind of hear that she had felt threatened in terms of the game on me saying, "Hey, if you were to put me up, then I'd have to go for you to put you up next week." Like, I thought that was me basically being like, "Hey, did you know the sky's blue, the grass is green?" Like, this is Big Brother, right? That's kind of like what happens. Why would you do that? And so my point was to say, let's work together. Like, let's not put ourselves in that situation. I think anybody is thinking that. Kenny wins HOH, guess who's going up? You know, Lisa and Chemo at that time both felt blindsided, at least in what they had communicated to me. So I was like, I think at this point in the game, anybody that, you put up is going to put you right back up and think you're a threat on the back end. So I didn't even mean that in terms to be threatening. It just meant in terms of like, hey, this is the obvious. So let's just not do that. And like, then let's talk about how to play the game together. What's crazy is like, if Angela held off maybe 5 minutes from her blow up, I was literally going to go upstairs to tell her that about the throwmance and that we wanted to work with her. And so if she had waited 5 minutes, she would have found out that not only everything that she had thought, made up in her mind was untrue, but that actually was the exact opposite, that we had decided we potentially wanted to work with her and we're going to communicate that.
Mm. You weren't the only one, Angela, or saw the wrath of Angela, I guess. We saw Kenny. I know Lisa got into it with her. Did you feel like the house was like very pro Angela, or did you feel like you had a lot of support and they wouldn't necessarily go after you or
Well,
vote you out?
what I know was like outside of the votes, every single person except Angela came to me in the house and said that they do not agree with what she did. And so I at least will have that forever for the rest of time. Everybody came and said what she did was wrong. Every single person in the house did that and apologized on her behalf before she ever did. So I will at least have that, even though we were saying that within the context of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did not end up getting their vote, but I did get their empathy and sympathy in that moment. And I will take that to the bank with me because I do hope that that was genuine. But I do think everybody is walking on eggshells. Like there was a point where people started to feel like I don't even want to go to the bathroom because like I have to walk past her. And like I could not have played the game in that light. And it is a strategy. It's gameplay, and like it just couldn't have been how I could have done it. And honestly, I knew there could be a point where if that would be the case, then like I don't deserve to be here anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just am not going to be good enough to play this game. And so, all in all, I wanted to set it up to where if I were to go, everybody would have had to look at me and lie. And I think that was the case. Multiple people did. And it is going to change the trajectory of, I think, how people are thinking within the house. That literally expect the unexpected is more true than we thought. And if that was just the role I played, then I'll wear that. I'll wear that proudly.
Yeah, I know. And I know you got close with Kenzie or Mackenzie. Kenzie. Did you think about asking her to use the veto on you?
Absolutely.
Her
But at
social
the same
veto?
time, yeah, I started to feel guilt. Like I felt like we involuntarily, were associated as a showmance, but then it was kind of like, hey, let's figure it out. I think Mackenzie's beautiful. I think her personality is amazing. I think how she carries herself and her life values is somebody I would be interested on the outside. So why not? We involuntarily, I feel like I put in that situation, but then I started to feel like, hey, like anytime you being associated with me, like it's just bad for you. Like I started to feel guilty. So I felt like a struggle in asking her to use her upgrade, even though like she did say to me that if she genuinely felt like we didn't have the votes, that she would. And so
Yep.
I hope she's doing all right. And I hope she's hanging in there. And I wanted her to keep it for this exact situation where she'll have it for her own self. I never could ask her to use it on me.
Yeah, sometimes when their showmance goes home, you actually do better. So maybe she'll do better. Who knows?
I,
Um,
I think that's the case.
yeah. You also got close to Kenny. I think he was willing to throw his game away from you for you at some point. If you had to sort of pick a number one ally, would it be Makensy or would it be Kenny?
It's a great question. I mean, I do think how Kenny unraveled at the end of the day, man, it meant so much to me. Like the moment we had after everything that went down with Angela meant the world to me. And he was so fatherly to me in that moment. It meant everything. And so I think it's hard to say. It's hard to tell. I think that I do think that how Kenny was playing, at some point, because he played similar to me. Like these are my cards. This is who I am. This is what I'm thinking. That probably would have hurt him at some point. I think that people might have tried to pick Kenny off next week if we both had made it out. And it would have been hard to continue to vouch for him. But I did try to build a lot of my game around Kenny just because of our connection and obviously around Makensy because of our connection. So it's hard to say, but I definitely know that I'm glad I got to play with both of them and even very specifically with Kenny.
If you could do a redo, what would you change of your experience in Big
Yeah, I
Brother?
mean, I think the only one is I would have thought more about how strong I came into the house. Like, I'm a
That
big
storage room killed you when you were posted up in the storage room, I think. I don't know.
right, and like and in my perspective, like I didn't even like try. Like I went in there to get a immunity shot, and it was just like one person would come and I'd be like, what's going on? And they'd be like, I'm
Ah,
good. Like, how you feeling? And then I think like the perception of that was like Matt's holding office hours in the storage room. I'm like, dude, I felt in the beginning I would just sit places. And then like after a while people would come and I would just be like, what's up? Like, and we would
mhm.
just start to talk. And then that kind of became my demise. So I think I came off hot just in terms of my personality. But that is just who I am. That's real. Like, especially in the beginning, a lot of viewers don't get to see this, but like it feels awkward. Like you're in a really obscure situation with people that you don't know. And at some point we're all going to have to like screw each other. So
Yeah.
like it's weird. And so when we're sitting around the table, even like I feel like I wanted to make everybody try to feel more comfortable just out of the humanization of like this experience. And so I'm asking questions. I'm like, let's go around. Like, what's one thing? What's a circumstance you've ever like? Have you ever felt this or seen this? And then I felt like people thought I was controlling a lot of the social atmosphere of the house, and I knew that was not going to be good for my game. But also, I do think it contributed to people feeling more comfortable and talking and learning more about everybody. And in that regard, that's just who I am. I think I would have changed that and tried to fall back a little bit more. But to some degree, I'm sitting here like I feel like I didn't even really get a chance to play. And I,
Yeah.
and I,
So
I
sweet.
did. I hope viewers feel that way. That they're like, what would have happened if Matt was still up in there? But yeah, I wish I had got the opportunity to play more. I feel like I didn't even get the chance.
Yeah, I mean, I would have preferred you stayed. I like the fireworks. So um
Yeah,
yeah, but okay, so last question because I know you have to go. Who do you think is playing the best game and who's playing the worst game right now?
yeah. I mean, man, from my seat, I think Mama B, Brooklyn's playing a great game. Like, I mean, she played me for sure, but she withheld who she was within it. Like, she never didn't try to reassure me of the whole stepmom joke. Like, she always kept it. She would always grab me in the morning and look and be like, "This is my son," and she'd like act like we were taking a photo together. And I think that was real from her. I hope
Mm.
that it was. And then even in her goodbye message, when she was like, my stepson, like, we're going to see you around the dinner table one day. Like, I think she held that all the way through, but also she voted for me. So she did what was best for her game, but she withheld who she was. I don't think anybody would go for Brooklyn. I don't think anybody is looking at her in a negative light. I think she's going to be the one that people should think and look forward to. Who's playing the worst game? Let me give you a little hint here. Probably Angela. I mean, at this point, if you look at just the amount of people that like not only like would vote for her, just like she's yelled at, like from a decimal perspective, like just from like how many people have like she is audibly yelled at, like including me, it's like it's like half the house. Like, what are we doing? You know, so like I think like she's gonna have some cleaning up to do. I don't, you know, hopefully she can recover and have a good experience in the house. I think me being gone is gonna help her case for sure. But I think her game is struggling, and I'm like, dang, maybe Makensy's game, like, and just being associated with me, like, which, like, sorry, but maybe it'll benefit us when we're both out of here. But in the game, you know, it did not feel like it was benefiting us, and we didn't even choose it, you know. So yeah, a lot of those things made me feel like I wish I had gotten a really honest shot. You know, I didn't even get the chance to like compete. It felt like in a game that I felt like was suitable for me. I wish I had got that opportunity. I wish I wasn't, you know, hit with the way I look in the first 10 minutes of the game. It felt like a lot of those things I wish we could have done differently, but they tell the story of the season, and I think it's going to unravel to be a beautiful one.